Hey there, folks. How you doing? Robert Blythe, founder of Canon 60, 70, 80, 90. God, I forget. Anyway, that whole website that we share our photos and laugh at, or laugh with, or laugh at me. Today, really excited. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest. And, you know, I'm not a fisherman and I'm not very patient, but my dad always used to tell me about patience. As soon as you get the fish on the line, you stick the net out because you don't want it jumping off. And we got tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with us, one of the best. We have the queen of the contest. Two wins. How many second and third places? I don't know. And always an honorable mention. Twice she gets honorable mentions, and in the same contest. That's pretty impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight JoAnn Loewen. And JoAnn, thank you so much for being here with us. We're so happy that you're sharing this time with us. And tell us a little bit about yourself before we hand it over to my buddy Keith over there.
Okay. I live in Michigan, a little town called Farmington. Been here quite a few years, married, and I have 3 children and 10 grandchildren. Little known fact that you guys probably don't know is that I speak Japanese.
Wow.
I wondered because of the pictures that I've seen. Where did you learn that?
I used to live in Japan, lived there for over 20 years. So.
Wow. What doing?
My husband and I were missionaries.
Okay.
In the greater Tokyo area and did church work.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that is awesome. Keith, take it away. It's all your show now.
Yes, welcome to the Canon 60, 70, 80, and 90
God.
for the love of sharing learning laughs and Facebook page. Meet the members interview extravaganza.
He's such a show-off.
So you're definitely one of my favorite photographers on our site. And you know, I feel that you're a little pigeonholed in what you go out and shoot, because what I see is you only shoot landscapes, cityscapes, seascapes, birds, animals, insects, flowers, foliage, bridges, fireworks, light trails, still lifes, portraits, silhouettes, perspectives, foods, and sunsets. But besides that, you're a little limited. I am absolutely blown away by the range of different photography that you've gotten involved with. And the one thing that I see as an overall theme of what you do with your photography is that you play with light very well. And
Thank you.
you play with tricky light very well. And I mean, when you're very good at the sunsets and sunrises, especially when you've got a bright light shining in your camera lens with a dark foreground, you're able to merge that high dynamic range shot and come up with some fantastic shots. So what would you say is your favorite subject that you like to shoot out of all of the different types that you shoot?
I guess sunrises and sunsets happen to be my favorite because of all the color. I love the different colors, and maybe that's another thing you might notice about my photography. It's usually pretty colorful, because I do love the color.
Yeah, they just pop when you see them, especially those sunrise and sunset photos. What do you think you get out of photography? What does it bring to you?
Oh, that's maybe a difficult question to answer because it's deeply philosophical, but I do really enjoy taking the pictures and being able to put them into a form that other people can enjoy as well. I'm encouraged when I see something cheerful, and I like to encourage other people.
Oh, right. Yeah, it shows in the photos. What details do you think make a good shot? Do you really look for an overwhelming balance of color, or are you looking to have, are you worried about the composition as much?
I don't worry about the composition so much because I can usually gauge it with my eye when I'm looking at, and then I'll crop if I think the composition is off. But I do look for light, the good kind of light, because I think that is so important in a photo.
Do you use flash much, or do you use the on-camera flash from the 70D?
Do I what?
Do you use flash, external flash?
Only indoors. I rarely do it outdoors unless I'm taking people shots outdoors. I do sometimes, but otherwise I don't. Indoors I will sometimes, but that's one of my bigger challenges is how to make a good photo indoors with a flash and the right lighting.
Yeah, no kidding.
Primarily, so most of the photos that I see, they're either listed with the 18 to 135, which is one of my favorite lenses, or the 24 to 70, the f2.8L lens. That's one I don't have. What do you prefer out of those, or is there a reason you go with one over the other?
I was thinking about that today. Well, sometimes when I do like sunsets, I will want the 18 because I want the wide angle. But I noticed some of the photos I sent you, most of them were with the 24 to 70, and that 24 to 70 gives a lot of detail. It's really nice lens.
Yeah, that's one I want to have in my arsenal one of these days. I don't have that one yet.
It's a little spinny.
You have the Canon version of that, the 2470, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have the Sigma of that one, and I'm quite happy with it. It's
Good.
kind of all. It's always actually Isabel now has the 70D, and it's always on her camera. So
Your time in Japan, you must have seen some wonderful landscapes and different types of cultures, or you've got different types of structures and buildings out there. It must have been wonderful for photography. Were you into photography when you were over there at that time?
Well, mainly I was doing work-related photography. And it's funny how I got into it because my husband was the photographer before we went to Japan. And then after we got there, he was kind of like in the limelight, and I needed to take pictures of him doing stuff and with other people and things like that. So I learned how to use the camera there. And then I didn't do, it was mostly work related, and we've traveled a lot, and I wish it was all for work. So I wish I had the experience and the desire that I have now. I could have quite an arsenal of pictures. But unfortunately, it's been in the last few years that I've really learned how to use the DSLR camera.
Yeah. Were you using DSLR back when you were in Japan, or was he more into, was he still using any film photography, or was it all DSLR back then?
No, it was all film.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I have a favorite memory. I'm sure my family does too, that every year we would go out to take a family picture. I set the camera on a tripod, and we took a whole roll of film, 24, sometimes even more than that. And I'll tell you, the children were really glad when we were finished with that roll of film. And we hoped that one was good enough to send our friends.
Nice, nice.
Well done. Do you want to see some pictures here?
Yeah,
Keith?
definitely. Let's take a look at some of the shots.
Okay, well, let me share the screen. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. Let's see if this works. Photos. So, can you both see the screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep, well.
and JoAnn, tell us about this. This is water play. This is one of the photos that you sent me.
I remember seeing this.
I remember seeing it too.
I love to take pictures of water, and moving water is just so challenging, and it's fun to see how the drops are in a moment of time. And this little gal has been spending quite a bit of time at my house, and she loves water play. So I shot this one afternoon outside, but she was playing in the water.
ISO 5000 on this one, 97 milli. You took this with the 18 to 135, 1/1000th of a second. You can see the water is perfectly in focus. I would love to have known what you were focusing. I guess you were focusing on her face.
You know, this photo, there isn't a lot of time for focusing, or the water is so fast, and just when she accidentally put it in her face, I mean, it was just the moment you just shoot and hope that you have the settings right.
Yeah. No kidding. Did you use auto ISO on this?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And it was
yeah.
in the shade. It doesn't look like it, but it was shaded. And so I think that's why the ISO was so high.
Yeah. Okay. I see that there. Because 5,000 is a lot for that camera, but it really works here. I love this one when I saw it on your personal page. I love this. I'm so glad you sent this one in. Tell us about this one.
This one, I love this photo too, and it has a real meaningful story with it. Last year, my husband and I went to DC to see the cherry blossoms. Because of all the time we spent in Japan, I love cherry blossoms, and I'd never been to DC to see them. So we arrived late at night and go to the hotel and get up at 5 a.m. the next morning to drive down to the tidal basin. And I walked out there, it's still dark. I walked out there thinking I'd be the only one up that early. And there I was with, I say, 700 other cameramen and tripods. It was just literally hard to find a place, hard to find a spot to put my tripod. And this was, but the other thing that was so interesting is that it was totally silent. Even though there were so many people, it was totally silent. And it was like an awesome moment when everybody's just waiting for the sun to come up and see what it's gonna look like. And so this photo represents that awesome silence right before the sun rises. It was a great experience. I'll never forget it.
And then the citation.
Pardon?
The citation that you have is perfect.
I sometimes like to put Bible verses on a photo. I don't do it real often, but I do once in a while because I like to be an encouragement to other people, especially on my Facebook site. And so I thought this was a good verse to go in with the photo.
It matches it perfect.
It's. I love the leading lines. I love the obelisk, the reflection. You got the best spot. You knew what you're doing here. You know.
I had a lot of fun. It was great. I have hundreds of pictures from there. This is probably the best one, my favorite.
This is fantastic. This is the Stanford
University in California. It's amazing. The buildings, they all are just so amazing, and they have a lot of these arches in them. But I love this one because of the depth that it shows.
Very much so. And even like the last shot, and then compared to this, they do it in two different directions. But the last one pulled my eye from left to right till I was looking at the monument. And this one just takes my eye from the right to the left all the way down that hall, as opposed to just shooting that straight on down that alley. This really makes your eye travel down there. It's a really nicely balanced.
How true that is, buddy. You couldn't have said it any better. I'm looking at the lights that are hanging there, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Yeah. Well done. Well done. This one was reflections. This one here is the Washington Monument. Stanford, I have it right here. 100 ISO, 1/60th, f8. Probably you did this with your 24-70, 35 millimeter. You probably handheld this.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I didn't have my tripod with me.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
No.
This one here, the reflections.
Yeah, one day I went for a walk and this is what I saw, and I just couldn't help but love the reflections on the water. It was so clear.
Was this late day or early morning?
This was about 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. It looks like the leaves are really just catching the light. It looks fairly early in the morning with the bright yellow hues in it.
Yeah.
Do you edit a lot in Lightroom? Do you push a lot, or do you just take what the camera gives you and just a little bit of enhancement?
Okay, I'll tell you what I do in Lightroom. I make it to look like my eye saw the scene. Because what the camera's eye sees is different from what my eye sees. And so I edit it to look like what I saw. And once in a while, I'll boost it up just a little.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sunset, I might boost up the color a little bit more, but.
I was wondering. Okay. This one we had to bring in and talk about.
Oh yeah.
If I was not aware that that was happening that day when I walked up, that would have taken my breath away to walk up and see that that waterfall coming through the ice like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was breathtaking. And the interesting part about it was my husband and I were driving, this is in Minnesota, and we were just driving and I saw the sign to this park and I said, oh, can we just go see what the waterfalls looks like? Because I had never seen it in the winter. And so it was on a whim. And I just loved it.
Oh, you must have been amazed when you came around or over the corner or around the bend and saw that for the first time.
I was. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's just phenomenal.
That's obviously long exposure as well, that one. Because I can see you must have had your tripod there.
You know, I did not have my tripod now. But I set my camera down on, there was a rock, kind of a rock ledge, pretty big rocks. And so I set my camera down on the rocks and then did the long exposure.
Okay, that explains it then. Because, yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. This one here, the Ferris wheel. That's the one you sent me. You love this because of the motion and the color. 5-second exposure, ISO 200. Again, with your 24 to 70.
Yeah, the 24 to 70 does really nice with the details and yeah. I love the motion.
Where was this
It
taken?
doesn't even look like a Ferris wheel.
No, not at all. And where was this taken?
This was taken at a town about 20, 30 minutes from where I live. And they just had a summer amusement festival type thing.
And this is obviously tripod again, or did you just set your
Tripod,
camera
yeah.
down? Yeah,
Tripod, definitely.
yeah.
5 seconds, yeah.
Nice star effect. Of course, that happens at f8. That, you know, that star there, that'll always happen. So
I love stars. Oh.
yeah, this is another one we pulled off the website because we wanted to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, I love this shot.
Why, Keith? Before she gets into it, why do you love this shot? I mean, I love it myself.
It pulls in so many questions right off the bat. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, what does he do? Is he a chef that's just on a break? Is he related in any way to that bicycle? And if so, why did he do that to his bicycle? And it's just, obviously the bike must be a prop for the window display that's in the back, but it just provokes a lot of thought when you see this photo.
Good, I'm glad.
JoAnn, tell us about this one. Where is this taken?
This was taken in Florida, and it's near the place where they dive for sponges, and the things that are on the bicycle are actually sponges.
Okay.
They just use smaller pieces of sponges and decorated the bicycle with it. You can see the starfish in on the wheels.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it has anything to do with the store or not. I actually didn't even go into the store. And the guy that's sitting there, I do think he was a chef from around the corner and just taking a break. And so I don't have the settings for this one, but I think I zoomed in quite a bit. So he didn't really notice that he was in the photo that I was trying to feature him.
So you tried to get him.
Yeah, I wanted him in because I thought he made it interesting.
He has great character in his face, yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Do you generally take, like this shot here, did you just take this and walk away, or will you take a couple of shots?
I had 2 or 3. I didn't want to make it too obvious because he was sitting there. I'm a little bit shy about taking pictures of people that I don't know.
Oh,
But
man.
This one was a little hard because of the shadow on the building. You can see the shadow there. And so it was, I had to do a little bit of work on it, if I remember right, to lighten the shadow.
Yeah, all that said, though, it still draws the attention in the to the highlight of the man and the bike. So it actually works.
Yeah, it works. It works very, very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you mostly work in Lightroom, if I remember correctly, eh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, we'll bring you back here. Okay.
So I have a question for JoAnn. So I listed off the 20 or so subjects that you've shot and posted on the group. One I haven't really seen though is black and white. So when will we see a JoAnn black and white photo?
I don't know. I don't do too much in black and white. You can challenge me with that.
Yeah, I think because of your keen eye for lighting situations and how well you work for it, say on a sunset or sunrise photo, I think you would be very good at doing a black and white type of photo, just looking at highlights and shadows and incorporating that. So something I'd look forward to in the future.
Okay.
He's very good at every photo. JoAnn, what the site? Let's talk about that for a little bit here before we wrap up. And again, thank you so much. What do you get out of the Canon 60, 70, 80, 90D site that we're on? We're all members of.
Oh, I have learned so much from you guys. Different postings when people have questions and challenges. The monthly contest, which is kind of interesting, every month has been a challenge to me because it's something I don't normally shoot. It's not usually I have to go out and shoot something for the contest. It's not, I can go back and look, oh, this one will work or this one will work. And so that's been really cool. I love that.
We know because we get to see it on your Facebook page. We know when you're practicing. Keith and I are both friends with you on your own page, and we get to see that. So, yeah, exactly.
We can tell you've got something in the works for an upcoming contest, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's easy. Who do you like to follow on the page? Who are some of your favorites that you'd like? And again, the second part of that question is, as I put people on the hot seat, who would you like to see here? Who would you like to have sitting where you're sitting right now with us?
All of them. I would like everybody to have to stay here. Everybody to post regularly, yes. Yeah, I learned so much from people that are posting on there. And I was so glad to see Lynn because I really admire her work. And you guys too, I really admire your work. So
I post a little less now because I do have the R, and I'm also doing other things. And this little project here that Keith and I are on is it's got me busy as well. Sort of so on and so forth. For me, the site was to bring people together and have a conversation and just talk and be friendly and so on and so forth. And I think we've really achieved that. And now we're talking to the members themselves, and we're getting to meet the people, and we're getting to really get in and see inside your life and learn more about it and be closer. So, but is there any particular photos that you've seen on the site that stand out to you, or done by who?
The guy from Hong Kong, Alan.
Oh, Alan is Australian.
Oh, he's Australian. I thought he was in Hong Kong.
I believe he's Australian. I think, yeah, Ronnie is the gentleman from Hong Kong.
Oh.
Alan is the gentleman from Australia, I believe.
Okay. I got confused.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the model from Hong Kong. I visited Hong Kong many times, and so those street scenes and how he puts the models together there, I mean, the shots are amazing. And I still can't believe he does that with I don't remember which one he has, the 70 or 90.
70D. Ronnie had the 70D, and he's the one who's always said it's not the camera that you have that makes the shot. It's the photographer. And I mean, I'm sitting here in front of Keith and JoAnn, and we're talking about Ronnie, we're talking about Alan. These guys are all pros, phenomenal photos. So, yeah.
The one thing that attracted me to the site was just the interest in seeing what other people can do with the same camera that I have.
Oh.
And I think as a picture photo taker myself, I limit myself to my own experience and thinking that, oh, I can't get anything better than this. But I really like that I can see other people's really good shots and I go, wow, they took that with the same camera I have. That's amazing. So it's really good.
Good. Well, we're glad you like that. You've shared so much with us right now, JoAnn. Oh, we got, he's pressing his movie there to activate himself again. That happens after 29 minutes, our sensors shut off and, oh, you're back. Thanks. So that's our cue. We'll wrap this up. JoAnn, again, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure having you on. And you know, have you got any suggestions for Keith and I?
No, you guys are doing perfect. You're doing a perfect job.
Thank you very much.
You did too, dear. You did too. Well, with that, Keith, any parting words? Anything you want to ask?
Thank you so much for being part of this group, JoAnn. Really, I enjoy seeing every single time you post a photo. I'm always impressed. I'm always inspired by you. So thank you for being part of the group, and I look forward to a long time more seeing what you get to post. And don't forget about the black and white shot too.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing, just leave a comment below the posting here that this video shows up in. And if you want to be a part of this, just contact one of the admins, Keith or I. We would love to talk to you. We would love to hear more about what you think. And as you can see, JoAnn, it hasn't been a scary experience, right?
I'll never tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Meet the Member with JoAnn Loewen. Myself, I'm Robert Blythe, and that handsome gentleman right over there, that's Keith Slack. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye.